Oh my gosh.
Do you want to tell us about your fresh haircut?
What?
Like you re-upped on your haircut.
I did. A week and a half after my first one.
That's the thing about that haircut is you have for it to look like swaggy.
Yeah.
You have to maintain it.
I know. Yeah, I think the distance between these first two haircuts will hopefully be the shortest because Rachel didn't go short enough on the top the first time. I think she did a 3 on the top, and this time she did a 2. Like a 2 down to a skin.
Well, welcome to the coffee podcast. Sometimes
I wanted to talk about the hair more.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it a good time? Like a good bonding moment? You know how couples have hobbies? Maybe one of your
Ross's hobby is getting his haircut, and Rachel's hobby is giving Ross a haircut.
Yeah.
Does
she treat you like a client? She's like, so what's been going on this week?
Yeah, we do like,
some jokes about it.
Definitely some jokes. We like to pretend like,
Easy.
I'm just a client in her chair, we just like to pretend, and it's fun. It really is fun.
Can we just talk about football already?
Anyways, but yeah, I think Rachel tries to find certain things she likes about it, but at the end of the day, like it's always at like 10 p.m. and she's been on her feet chasing kids around. So
her dogs are barking.
Yeah, but yeah,
I'm crying.
It's really fun for us. It's really been good.
I'm glad that it's fun.
Dude, I'm sure everybody wants to know that this weekend you can find all three of us in the same place on Sunday. And where is that? Huh? Who wants to give it away?
Falcons versus Panthers at the Benz, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Us three and my wife and my newborn.
Oh yeah.
Touchdown, Falcons.
Who was that in the group? That was me, right?
No,
the baby was Ethan.
The Panthers were the touchdown, unfortunately. They got it wrong.
Crap.
I know. How about the Panthers whooping up on the Bucks? Sans McCaffrey.
It's funny. Really saved, potential season saver for the Falcons by the Bucks losing that one.
It was an equalizer in the division for sure.
Yeah. They still got the tiebreaker over us, but it's looking that much more likely that we can beat them.
Yeah.
Right.
We're in such a bad division that like making the playoffs is not a big deal.
It's pretty nuts that a few years ago it was the best division in football.
It was elite.
Definitely one of the best. Yeah.
Because it was like, I remember there was a year where the Saints were the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Or they were the 1 or 2 seed in the playoffs, like overall. Mm-hmm. And then the Falcons and the Panthers were the wild card.
That was recently.
Yeah.
That must
I
have
think
been.
that was I think it was 2016, 2015.
Mm-hmm. That's saying a lot about division if you have a 1 seed and then 2 in the hunt.
Yeah. That's how the NL East was this year in baseball. It was Braves, Phillies, and Mets.
Dang.
Now the Phillies are in the World Series.
Dang.
Who knew?
Heartbreaker.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Did we play the Phillies in our series?
They beat us.
Yeah, we lost.
Well, that's good to know that at least the Phillies made it to the World Series.
What's up with the Astros always making it? What's their deal?
They pay a lot of money for their baseball team.
There's no cap, right?
No cap.
No cap, baby.
No. There's it's a luxury tax type of situation. I don't know what exactly you would call it in baseball, but that's why the New York teams always have incredibly high payroll. In LA. I gave Roy a hard time for breaking out his Astro cap.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough to see that in the wake of our loss.
Yeah.
Here in Atlanta.
Well, it wasn't even because of that. I was just like,
now
so you guys are making a run. I haven't seen that hat in a while.
Yeah. Bandwagon fan.
Yeah.
Did I tell you guys I bought a Kyle Pitts jersey when I went to the game?
That's awesome, dude.
No, you did not.
How much that set you back? 70?
110? 120?
No way.
All right, so after taxes, 140. The guy's like, first off, I didn't even look at the price. He was just like 140. I was like,
That's sick.
and then
You didn't even look at the price.
well, I was just so excited. I'm like, I'm gonna get a jersey. And then he was like 140. And I was like, brr. And then he was like, are you a season ticket holder? And I lied.
You
Oh my
embellished?
gosh.
You embellished the truth?
I embellished the truth. I had a season ticket held by a season ticket holder.
Okay.
You're like, what does this look like? You should have just said that.
You're like, you tell me. And he's like, yes. I'm like,
Didn't lie.
you tell me. I honestly, like 50-50, didn't know what he was talking about. And then
Sure.
I was like, yeah, this is a season ticket. I was like, oh,
Yeah, sure.
I just got a discount. And I'm not going to correct him now.
How much was the discount?
It was 20%. So I went down to like 110.
Is it a black jersey?
Have you
That's-
worn it since?
So I was going to say I wore it at my house when no one else, my wife was doing other things and I was watching the Falcons game with my jersey on.
Yeah, dude. I've done that too.
Just watching them get absolutely spanked, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
There's no better word to use.
We just had it all go wrong for us this past week. I really wanted to see Ritter there at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't, but it's, no Cordero Patterson, number one, which, granted, our rushing attack has still been pretty decent.
It's been
But
good.
our secondary just all they were all out. I think we were scraping, fifth and sixth string cornerbacks by the end of that game?
Gosh.
We had more injuries in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
sure.
That's not good.
Yeah.
AJ Terrell out. That was such a bummer. He's
Yep.
a talent.
Is he going to be okay?
I'm actually not. I don't know. I'm sure he'll be okay at some point.
Well, prayers out for AJ.
Yeah. Smash like if you one like equals one pray for AJ Terrell.
Junior.
The hardest hittingest cornerback in the league.
Oh, yeah.
He hits really hard.
Yeah, he does.
And he's not like yoked. Like he's a little guy. He's got heart.
He's tall, though. He's like
He's
6'1".
really, really good. I remember when we made that pick, myself and a lot of Falcons fans were really disappointed because he had just gotten his butt spanked by one of the LSU wide receivers.
Jamar?
Yeah, it was him, or what was the other one? Jordan Jefferson.
Does
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson?
Did he
Sorry.
play at LSU?
Yeah,
Oh.
pretty sure
Did Burrow throw to him?
he threw to both of them.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I'm almost positive. They put out some wide receivers.
Dang. Do you guys like watching like mic'd up stuff or like Hard Knocks and like seeing the personalities of players?
I don't really watch Hard Knocks. I watch some mic'd up stuff,
Which is so
sometimes.
funny. I feel like you'd really like it.
I've watched a couple episodes. It's just, I think it would be a lot more entertaining if I understand why it's about the worst team in the league.
I watched every episode of Hard Knocks in 2 nights last week with Rachel.
Of the Lions?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
We both thought it was like in our top 5 most enjoyable TV content ever. Literally.
The Lions one is
Wow.
good.
Dude, it was
I've
like,
heard some are not as good.
it was so, I get, the word is uplifting.
Oh.
Like,
And bringing it back to the podcast.
just seeing, like, obviously they use cuss words. Okay.
Hello.
They do?
Yes. But just seeing how these players, some of them have come from nothing, some of them have come from privilege, but they all had the dream to play in the NFL, and like the dream came true, and they are all operating at the highest effort that they can, and these coaches are just like doing everything they possibly can to set these players up for success. It's just so uplifting to me. It's so inspiring. And as a boss, it makes me want to like yell at people more,
Yeah.
get on the line. Like, really, it's just funny how different communication styles in different industries work as bosses. Like, I've often thought about that, like being a football fan, seeing and growing up playing sports, how coaches talk to you, they don't mince words. They're hard on you. But in our industry, we're like really gentle with everything we say. And it makes me, one, question how much of that intensity do I need to adopt as a leader? Because it's not, there's never a point, like when a coach is like getting at a player, there's never a point where he's like attacking them, at least in that documentary. Like
Right.
everything is always positive, and it's always like to make this person better, or it's like a reality check. Like one of the O linemen, you can just kind of tell he's like not going to make it, not going to make the team. And the O line coach was like, bro, who are you cheating right now by your effort? Like the only person you're cheating is you, and you're cheating the rest of your teammates by how terrible of a, like you can do better. I know you can do better. Mm-hmm. And it's like that's harsh. And if we said that to any of our employees, that probably wouldn't be the best way to communicate. But like the message of what he's saying is like, it's very direct. It's very to the point, but it's not negative.
That sounds, I mean, that could be something we say after the 5th offense, you know?
Sure. Yeah, but
I've said that before.
Yeah.
that was like the most mild thing he said.
Oh yeah.
And another thing, it was like, hey, if you want to make this your profession, then you're going to have to do way better of a job. You're sandbagging right now. And then just like walking away and being like, that's all. Like, think about that. Just stew on that. You know, it's like if I said something like that, it's like I would be trying to motivate someone, but I'd be afraid.
Think about it all night.
I make them cry or something. And so, but I do just love the intensity and the severity of a coach that is like really trying to like wake people up and make them understand the severity of the situation.
Imagine how weird it would be to be in a profession of all men.
Yeah.
That might have a lot to do with it too.
That would just be kind of strange.
Yeah. And I think about the Army too. Like that's in any military force. I feel like that's a lot of how they communicate with that same intensity.
It's not all men.
It's
But
definitely not all men.
however, it is majority men.
But they do, whether it's men or not, they definitely like communicate with that level of like, I think one reason they communicate with that level of intensity is because if the coaches are easy on you, then you're going to expect your opponent to be easy on you.
Yeah, that's true. Both of those are opponent based. Whereas in the guest is not our opponent, which
Yeah.
is kind of funny.
Maybe we should start looking at the guest.
You gotta crush them. The tickets are the enemy.
Yeah, there we go.
You gotta pulverize the order.
You take this macchiato.
You sprint. Well, so that's awesome, and that's all true about the intensity. But it's funny. There's also a line to that as well. Like Urban Meyer's downfall was kind of that, what you're talking about, of having that kind of communication style without the respect and without like the uplifting. It was just like, you're nothing, you're trash.
Yeah.
And it worked for college kids because they're like, yeah. But these are like dudes making bags, and they're like, I don't need this guy making me feel bad. Like that doesn't inspire me.
Right.
And then the Jaguars proceeded to suck.
Right.
And he kicked one of their players. You hear about that?
I did.
He kicked the punter in the butt.
That's funny. You can't do that in 2022.
No kicking. 2021,
Maybe.
maybe.
Ethan, how have you evolved in your communication style? Like, I think about like when it was just the three of us and we were dreaming about having employees one day. I always I would think forward of like what it would be like to talk to employees and like try to inspire employees and even like correct employees. And I always just viewed it as this, like, I think I really took like a passive approach to that, of not like I don't want to hurt someone's feelings, or I don't want to make someone feel bad, because I know what it's like to be treated like Urban Meyer's players, but in the coffee industry.
Are you calling yourself Tim Tebow?
Yes.
Fair.
Fair. And so I wanted to take a more gentle approach, a more collaborative approach.
You call me like the Sean McVay of communicators?
Yeah.
Great job, buddy.
What did you, I mean, like, can you think back to what you thought having employees would be like before we had them? Or any early recollection of like employee communication? I ask you, Ethan, because you have the most contact with the most employees.
Yeah. Thanks, Ross. Thanks for teeing that up. Yeah, I feel like it was, my expectation was how the first year or so went, which was a lot of like brothers and sisters in arms kind of thing. We're all just like doing the stuff together. And so like feedback in that kind of environment is so easy and natural when it's like mechanical. Does that make sense?
I feel like in the early days, our first 3 employees gave us more feedback than we gave them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like we were, at least for me, like I didn't feel, if I'm honest, secure as a leader that like I'm a leader and I know where we're going. Because we didn't know where we were going. Like we were just figuring it out. Like you said, the brothers and sisters in arms headed towards opening a cafe for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was super peer. It was very more peer to peer because they were like around our age and some were older. But yeah, I think probably my biggest growth area is probably a lot more internal, which is just like, I've always struggled with this idea of like control. Like I want to be able to have control over a situation, and it's hard when would say I'm very like relationally driven as well. So I want to have control over like relationship dynamics, which sounds bad when you say it out loud. It sounds very manipulative and like poor. But yeah, it was just really stressful because like I wanted to know that everybody at Valor, not only was I secure, but I wanted everyone else to feel very secure. And so anytime, probably what you're talking about, when we would receive feedback or I would have to give feedback to a scenario, it was clouded with so much like fear and anxiety that like was losing control. And I didn't know how a conversation was going to go. And I would just say over the years of continuing to just have to like step into scenarios and communicate and give feedback and receive feedback, and watching people stay and leave through times like that. Thankfully over time, I think I've grown a lot in giving up that idea of like control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I could expand a little more of just like, so if something goes wrong, I don't know, say someone calls someone says something really nasty to another team member. And like, I guess maybe time, like our circumstance probably had a lot to do with it as well. Just like where we were in like 2019, 2020, 2021, there was just like a lot of like movements and like, and this is very neutral, but there's like a lot of like social justice movements. And I think I just had this like, as a boss, I just felt very afraid that like, if I didn't take on a situation right, that we would just fall prey to like a walkout, you know?
Yeah.
That like, I wouldn't hold someone accountable to something, or I wouldn't have stepped in, or like I let something happen and someone did something and like we'd just like lose everybody and everybody would quit. And
because that was happening.
You
hear about like, you know, an entire restaurant losing their servers for the night because the boss didn't correct a man who emotionally abused a server or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that, someone might be listening and be like, yeah, good. And I'm like, yeah, there's a part of that that's like, there should be a lot of accountability on a boss to like hold your team,
Protect the team.
and hold your team in regard. So I think what was nice is we've translated that to like just how we roll, and just knowing now that we have a few years under our belt that like we've been able to build trust with the team. And so it's like if something happens, it's not like, oh, I'm out of here, I'm done.
Yeah.
But we can like take it on together, because stuff's always going to happen. There's always going to be like conflict and tension and reasons to have feedback conversations with people. But yeah, I just struggled with this, like it's all going to fall apart
Yeah.
constantly. And so now believing that it's not, even though there's like a really small percentage chance that it could, I think I just have a lot more peace of mind when it comes to communicating with someone on the team about an issue. And
Yeah.
being like, this probably isn't going to explode. And especially because I really love everyone that works on our team, and I respect everyone that works on our team, I probably not going to say something so bad that it's going to explode. So like I've kind of learned to trust myself a little bit when it comes to having those hard conversations.
Yeah.
And the hard knock stuff, I mean, the cut and dry coach part of it too, I've grown a lot, and just being like,
You really have.
just being able to communicate concisely for their benefit what we're actually talking about and what the issue is, versus like a lot of sugar coating and a lot of like encouragement, small slice of feedback that I really wanted to get to, and then the rest is like how it's my fault and I'm sorry. There's space for all of that stuff, and I like to think that I'm not losing those things, but rather I'm just trying to learn for everybody else's sake how to communicate clearly what we're actually talking about.
Yeah.
You know, does that make sense?
I think one of the first examples of you stepping into that wasn't even with an employee. It was with the general contractor for our first cafe.
Yeah. I remember that for sure.
There was like a breaking point where there just like kept being issues with the plumbing, and they would come and just like not really do anything. And then eventually you were like, no, we paid you. You're going to come fix this plumbing tonight, and I'm going to be there with you. And then they did.
Gosh, I stayed all night. That was rough, dude.
And they had to bust up the concrete because the general contractor's like handyman didn't cover the drains and poured concrete down the drain.
Sick.
And you were like, we're doing this tonight. And then they did it.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah. Yeah, you got to know what you've agreed to and hold people to it. And there's so much room. There's stories like that, and then there's just so much room for grace, too, and other times of being like, this isn't a big deal.
Yeah. So me and my bud, Zach, we're talking about this thing that somebody said. And it's like, what makes a good person? What makes a great member of society? It's not being nice. Like, being nice is not what makes someone an active, helpful member of a team or a society, even though we should all be nice. But it's like the ability to, it's being a powerful, convicted human being that has the ability to lead a situation or influence something or be active, and harnessing that ability for the good of other people. Like, but just that's different than just being nice. Like, being nice is just mostly politics, if we're honest. Like, being kind is maybe different. Like, you're truly like good natured towards someone for their benefit. You're humble. You're being selfless. You know, you're building each other up. You're uplifting people. But just being nice is like smiling. But the ability to be a powerful human that's sure of themselves and is confident and has the ability to like really steer a situation, but only doing that when it's really called for. Knowing, I think that's what being meek is. Like, having the power within yourself and having that ability, but harnessing it when you need to, and then applying that ability when you need to for other people's good. And I feel like that is just back to the Hard Knocks thing.
Always.
As much as Dan Campbell was the head coach, as much as he would get down these players' throats about being better, he also would like walk by and it's football, so you can slap people on the butt and be like, "Hey man, love you. So proud of you. I love what you're doing here." You know, like there was that equal balance of trust and uplifting people and exhorting people, building people up, but also not being afraid to have some intensity only when it's for their good and for the good of the team. I think you're really great at that. You've always had the relational side of it, but the just not being the nice guy. Like I think you've really grown in that ability to like harness that intensity towards other people's good. Since you love introspection so much, let me ask you another question. Crap. I remember you used to say, and I don't think this is too personal, you struggle with like thinking about the team too much. Like when you go home, like you're home and you're thinking about like the politics of the team. She said this thing to him and made him feel this way, and I wonder what happened. I wonder how they're feeling now. Are they mad at me? Is that something that you still struggle with, or are you better now?
Probably think of better now. Not around. First off, he made a joke about introspection because I don't think about things very much internally. So I haven't thought about this at all. But
Perfect.
Maybe in reflection. So I didn't work yesterday and Sunday. Sunday, I didn't think about the cafe at all. So
Bravo.
So no, there you go. I wasn't like thinking about who was scheduled and like how they were going to work and what their position schedules were going to be. And that was huge. I was asleep for most of the day. So, hey, but that doesn't stop you. I dream work.
That's true, bro.
I dream work way too often.
That's funny.
So it's getting better. And then Monday, it was actually a really cool example on the flip side of like, we had someone that couldn't work and like the team figured it out without me. And I like called and I was like, "Hey, do I need to come in and blah, blah, blah?" And she's like, "No." Mikey said, no, we got it.
Baller.
I was like, "Okay, that's baller." And then same kind of thing with the roastery. I made contact with our roaster, Sam, and they were having a lot of good action here. And I was like, "Do you need me to come in?" They're like, "No, we'll figure it out." I said, "Okay, cool." So I think there's a duality or dual reasoning. I don't know what works better for like the remedy for that situation of like always thinking about team dynamics. One is that our team is just, I think, getting a lot more professional for better. Like we had like such a personal team, I felt like, for so long.
Yeah.
And so like
Family.
Yeah, the lives were so intertwined that like it really did, like things could really, outside of work, could really disrupt work. And I just knew about it all. But we've brought on, we've like, for lack of a better word, diversified our team just in like stage of life and walk of life and like friend circles that like there's not a ton of like,
everybody's like not hanging out after work.
right.
There's little pockets of people, and then there's some people that just don't.
Yeah, and thankfully we all work together super well, and there's a great dynamic there.
Yeah.
And when we get together, it's a freaking party.
Of course.
But I think that was really helpful, and then also the people that we, in that professional vein, I think we've just been watching people become more like problem solvers instead of like, I don't know what the opposite of a problem solver is, but
Just someone who immediately calls the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which is great timing that we are becoming daddies and like we're not just going to be around the corner all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And as we grow the company, it's always encouraging to be like, oh my gosh, there are people that have been with us that like can be faced with conflict or a problem and they have the tools and the experience to solve it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's like probably the best thing. I'm sure any boss out there listening is just like,
Yeah.
that's what we want.
That's what we always try to like preach with our values is like making problem solvers out of people.
Yeah.
And it sounds good in theory, but it just takes time to actually become a part of people's repertoire.
Yeah, and there's something to like, I don't know why the only word I'm thinking about is like a leash, but there's something like giving people a longer leash of like, if I'm just always there, if I'm always in the space, there's a lot of good things that can happen, but there's also like this really maybe too comfortable of a safety net of like, well, Ethan will always know the answer. So sometimes I think it's good when someone just has to be on their own and be like, all right, I'm going to solve this.
Well, back to Hard Knocks. There was that one practice where all the coaches said, we're not going to be on the field today. It's going to be a player run practice. And the only coach that was on the field was the head coach, Dan Campbell. And he had a whistle and he would like, kind of administrate and make sure the practice kept going. But like all the players were running their own drills.
Yeah.
And like the, the 3 or 4 quarterbacks that are trying to make the team, they just had to like communicate with one another and being like, okay, do we want to do this drill now? Or do we want to do this drill now?
Yeah.
And like they had to run the scrimmages. There's something to that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's on a spectrum, right?
What?
It's just, one can be like micromanagey and like always around, or you can be an owner that's sipping Mai Tais on the beach and like you pop in every 6 months and be like, everything's good.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think I was way more like always there, always trying to solve it. And now I'm like,
well, you were never micromanagey, but you were definitely way more like hands-on and like a player on the team instead of a coach on the team.
yeah. Player coach. I'm like LeBron.
Right. I'm thinking about like what makes a problem solver at work. Like someone who's not a boss, someone who just works the bar or doesn't even have to be in the coffee industry. Like the thing that I was talking about with our values is, and we've said this before on the program, but instead of just teaching people formulas and policies only of how to do everything and scripts of what to say to people, teach values and principles so that people value those at their core and just operate out of those. Mm-hmm. Like Hard Knocks, their big value was grit. We're a gritty team. They taught like identity instead of like, I don't even know what the opposite would be, but
Lack of identity.
Technique.
They still taught technique and all that. It's just like, we're a gritty team. Let's all buy into that vision. And then whatever that looks like for you, be yourself in that. Mm-hmm. And that's what we try to do with our values. And that's what hopefully makes problem solvers is people that just are aligned in a general sense together. And then they operate. We tell them to be themselves. And like, if they give away too many drinks or they like the example we always used to use was like, if you're taking a cappuccino is always the drink we use in examples. Isn't that funny?
It's the classic coffee shop order.
If you're taking a cappuccino out to someone on the patio and you drop it on their shirt and their shirt is completely soiled, like what should you do? You should go get one of our shirts and give it to them for free. Because that's what you would do if they were a guest in your home. And it's
Says
like
you.
What's that?
Says you.
Yeah, well, you're a freak. If they did that too many times or whatever, it's like we could correct them and rein them back in, but having that long leash, having that trust, and just say, hey, you just act like you're a host at your home.
Yeah.
And we'll sort out the rest later.
Yeah, and there's so many situations that we're not going to be prepared. Oh yeah. All this to be said, I guess you looked, but I don't think the Lions have won a game this season. Right?
They've got one under their
They've
belt.
got one game. Yeah,
Who'd they take?
The Commanders.
Nice. Hey,
they scored 45 points with the Seahawks. Oh my gosh, and they still
That
lost.
game is ridiculous.
dude, the Seahawks. Who would have thought?
How about that one though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
29-0 Patriots.
Shutout. Dude, the Cowboys defense, man, that's my ride or die. That's what's going to take me to the fantasy football championship.
These first 4 games, you were like, "Oh my gosh, is Jared Goff back?" And then 0-6.
Well, Amon
Yeah.
Ra was out for those, and D Swift, I think, has been
Yeah.
out too. So their weapons are running a little dry. But Craig Reynolds has been playing a lot, which is cool.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that almost didn't make the team.
Yeah. So one cool thing around that, like, values over policy thing is you, in the longer leash part, is that people can shine in ways that you never trained them or like expected them to shine. Like, I think you and I both were just so like joyful to hear stories of people doing like really funny moments of delight that we never have talked about.
Yeah.
So like one weekend recently, I think Mikey Soulja Boy came on. She's like, if anybody does the Soulja Boy
You're gonna say
dance,
Soldier Boy came in.
yeah, Soulja Boy comes.
Dude, I wish
I wish. Yeah, we paid Soulja Boy to come in.
he had to post a TikTok.
Would it be worth it? How much did it cost? We'll fly him
I don't
in.
think he's doing too much, man. Probably wouldn't be that bad.
Like, I don't know. Whatever.
$300.
Maybe he's local. Honestly, if he was in Atlanta, you don't have to. Anyways, she was like, if anybody does a Soulja Boy dance, you get a free drink. And it's just
Yeah.
it's like, I would never be like, okay, in this part in orientation, we're going to talk about reasons you can give away a free drink. Reason 1, if Soulja Boy comes on, you can say if someone dances to it, they get a free drink. It's like, I'm not thinking about that, but I hear it and I'm like, that's hilarious. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's like, what else are you going to do when there's like a line of 20 people inside and like everybody's just standing there? It's like, let's just have some fun.
Yeah.
And I don't even think anyone did the dance. All right, one person did. But I did the same thing. It's on one of our like party playlists and it came on. And I did it again. I was like, this is funny. I was like, if anybody does the Soulja Boy dance, they get a free drink.
Yeah. It's great. It's great for the person that did the dance, and it's funny for everybody else. And it's all like everything about it is memorable and positive.
I have one story to say, and I just didn't tell you guys about this, but also this weekend, this guy comes in with his dad. This guy's probably like mid-30s. The other guy's like 70s. And he's pretty, like his arms were incredibly impressive.
Daddy or sons?
Huh?
Which one?
Which one had the big
Ah,
arms?
the son.
Mm.
Are we going to have to make Riley edit something else out?
No. I'm making drinks and his arms are just massive, like in proportion to the rest of him. He's like a pretty normal sized
And you
dude.
can't stop looking.
And I just like stopped making drinks and I walk up to him and I was like, if you arm wrestle me right now and win, I'll give you your drinks for free. And he's like, you're on. And then he turns the corner and I like roll up my noodle arm and I'm like, and then Joey counts us off and I won.
Are you
I
serious?
Kid
No,
you
you
not.
did not.
I kid you not. It was like in the movies when like either Harry Potter takes liquid luck or like the kid's having the best day of his life. I was just like, how the heck did I win? I had no idea how. I guess he may have let me win. He may have just not expected me to like try really hard. But
Did you come out the gate really hard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you gave him his drinks for free anyways.
you got to. I was like, I didn't mean to hustle you,
Dude, I wouldn't have given the drinks for free. You
You're like,
kidding me?
Serious question. Do you know around what time this was so I can try to find it on the cameras?
It had to have been like,
Dude, please find this. Oh my gosh.
if it's Saturday, it was probably between the hours of 2 and 4.
We have that on recording.
What?
We have that on recording with the cameras.
I hope so. Where did it take place?
Oh, you should probably be able to see it.
Expo Bar
Expo Bar.
by the Curtis.
I don't like saying that because it would have been way better. I would have told this story, and I probably will tell the story way more if I had lost. Because it's like, yeah, this was funny, but I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I won.
Yeah.
I do.
Besides the point, though.
Besides the point, but it's just like you just do fun stuff.
Yeah. And it's because, I mean, why do you do that other than you're an owner? You're comfortable.
Right.
You know there's space to fail.
Yeah.
Not that you can fail.
Yeah,
Like,
he
that's-
could have been like, no. And I'd be like,
dude,
all right,
whatever. Okay,
back
fine.
to making drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have a team around you that you trust. You're in a comfortable environment. You know what Valor's all about. And you are just funny. So, like, you yourself would just do that. I'm going to sing Mikey's praises as well. Maybe this will make her listen to the podcast. But this is a really small one. I can't remember who. I think it was one of my friends, but he like loves the Sprojito,
Yeah.
and we don't have the Sprojito right now.
Right.
But he came in and ordered a Sprojito, and Mikey was at Surge, and she was like, "You know, we don't have a Sprojito, but I think I could whip up something you'd love." Like that's kind of like that. That's a small thing, but I love that. I love the flexibility. Obviously, there's nuance to it, like make a seasonal drink a seasonal drink. But point is, she didn't make a Sprojito. She made like a sparkling something. I don't even know what she made. And my friend loved it. And she did that because she was comfortable, she was competent, like, and she's experienced.
Yeah.
And she knows the things at her disposal to make people happy and to give them a drink that they would love. That's a huge part of it too. Like when we're talking about like making moments of delight for people, we're talking about like having ownership, being a problem solver. You do have to have a level of experience.
Yeah.
And a level of the ability to like bullshit a little bit and like get your, and both you and Mikey are great bullshitters, like with customers, like talking, not like talking your way out of things, but just like being able to banter, being able to improvise. That's a character trait.
It's like jazz, baby.
It's so much like jazz.
How is it like jazz, man?
You guys are jazz cats, man. But anyways,
Comfortable, competent, confident.
yeah, I'm always just so proud. Those are my proudest moments for sure with Valor is when people that aren't owners, okay, sorry,
Sorry.
improvise, they are problem solvers, and they just trust themselves.
Still looking over here. Were you at what position were you at when this happened?
I was at Expo. Joey was at Concierge.
Okay.
So if I was closing, man, when was that? It was the afternoon.
Where was Catherine?
I think she was at. Well, it must have been later because if she had started pre-close. No, sorry guys, I'm thinking out loud on air with Ethan.
Thinking out loud.
Ethan, Ross, and Riley. I think it was like, fart. I don't know, dude. It was the afternoon.
Let me do a little quick ad roll here.
Please.
If you are a new subscriber to our channel because of our giveaway, welcome. Welcome to the channel. We like to keep it real around here. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
But
Raw.
you know, it's raw, it's slick,
Yeah.
it's sexy.
Whew.
And
Maybe.
we talk about coffee sometimes. It's called Coffee Sometimes because we wanted this show to definitely be about coffee because we are a coffee company and a huge passion of ours is coffee. We love coffee. And we devote a lot of our time to making great coffee and developing people who make great coffee. But there's so much more to what makes Valor Valor and what makes me. You know?
Me.
And I'm just trying to be the real me for the real y'all.
Wow.
Our new subscribers. Valor Coffee Sometimes, the real us for the real y'all. What do you think?
Sold. Where do I sign up?
You already signed up, baby. You already bought
Where's
in.
your Patreon? Where's your Instagram subs?
Dude.
About that, maybe we can put out a little poll.
Okay.
Do you wanna lay it out?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure most of you listening are aware of Instagram's new feature, the subscribers. We've had a few friends that are influencers take on this Instagram subscriber.
I was just going to comment something about it.
Actually,
Nothing.
you know, David Funk, a friend of the program.
First guest, first ep.
Yeah, childhood friend. He's doing subscribers, and he's doing like music stuff. So how to mix a song or how to produce, and maybe he'll talk about his gear and all that stuff. If you think that you would be interested in being a part of the Valor subscriber family on Instagram, exclusive content,
Boom.
We're trying to figure out what we what we would put on this, but I do think that there is potentially a great opportunity to have a more active relationship with our listeners and the people who follow our brand. Because I think about, like, again, when it was just the three of us behind the bar, behind the cart, we were able to interface and connect with every single customer that gave us money at all, because they all came to the cart.
Yep.
Or heck, maybe they didn't give us money. They were just a Thrive coworker.
Sure.
Shout out to all my Thrive coworkers.
And the less and less we're behind the bar, unfortunately, the greater the gap between us and the people that are bought into our brand. And so I view this subscriber thing as a way to bridge the gap between you and I. Break down the walls between us and our listeners.
Yeah, and just to be clear, that was a lot of the heart for starting the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
So we, to this point, haven't really paywalled much.
Yeah.
And so we're like, if we were going to paywall something, it has to be worth it.
It's got to be juicy.
If someone's giving us $5, $10,
15,
$100,000 a month,
Right.
Stop paying rent. Give us your rent money.
I love how you said 5, 10, 15, $100,000 a month. Like those were all 100,000s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is that content going to be? I mean, first of all, we can do subscriber exclusive posts.
Yep.
We have made it very, very clear what our cart setup is like, yet we still get questions about our cart setup because people want to go on a more, they want us to have a little bit more hands-on, for lack of a better word, experience with their cart and what their specific problems are.
Right.
And that's totally cool. It's just we don't have an unlimited amount of time in
What?
that ballpark.
We have unlimited resources.
Yeah. Like,
for sure.
money isn't a problem. As you can tell.
By our studio.
Yeah.
Studio.
With all that being said, even $5 or $10, we still couldn't go super deep, but we could go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, more of our old school stuff of us with the camera talking to it on the stories, etc.
We are becoming a more polished brand, and this would be a good outlet to get back to the roots.
Yeah.
The just talking and processing in front of the camera for the people that, honestly, just for the people that really care. It's like a great delineation.
Valor Superfans Club.
Because there's going to be a lot of people that don't care and don't want some random guy that's a part of Valor talking about how he communicates with his team. People just want to buy the coffee, and they just want to see the posts about the new coffee coming out and the menus and the cool stuff.
Sure.
So it's almost like there's some people that just want to go to an auditorium or like a theater to watch a play happen, and that's full of what's where most of the people are. They're watching the play happen. And then there's the behind the scenes where there's a smaller number of people that know a lot more about the intricacies of the play behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's like the Instagram subs to me in my head. And there's a larger audience of just normies. Shout out to all my normies out there. Come on.
Anybody that has any ideas of content you would want to engage with as a Valor subscriber.
First, you have to subscribe for us to listen to you.
Right.
Just kidding.
Comment below or send us a DM on Instagram just with any ideas of what kind of interaction you would want as a Valor sub.
I mean, I think I just tapped into something like we should become a theater troupe. start putting on plays.
Yeah, you really started to blow that one open.
You get
for sure.
you get an opportunity to come with us, and we are what are they called? The dance crews that come out of nowhere.
Oh, flash mob.
Mob.
We're a flash mob. Yeah.
Oh!
If you're a subscriber, you're going to be in the Valor flash mob.
That's genius.
Dude, that had a moment. Flash mobs?
Flash mobs.
Now they do not.
Barbra Streisand.
Best of flash
Say?
mobs.
Did you not find the video on the cameras?
This flash mob will have you in tears. ... All her favorite musicals.
I'm not ready to cry right now.
Tear jerking.
Is it bad that I'm officially like don't want to click on these YouTube videos because we're gonna get copy striked?
I wouldn't say that's bad. I would just say that's
So
like
wait.
fair.
Did that come out one day ago?
Yes, it did. They're still around, dude.
All right. Hey, shout out to the flash mob community.
I mean,
Stay strong.
That is a verified account that only has 4.9 thousand views in one day. That's way less than we get. Like we're crushing 60, 70 views
a daily.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll change the subject and start talking about money. Since we were talking about money, how could people give us their money in a cool way and receive something in return of greater value? I would say.
Are you getting at our new T-shirt?
Yours.
Yes, you are. This does affect people a little bit on the interwebs, but maybe less so than the cafe. I don't know if you know this. I made that shirt a cafe exclusive.
No.
Good for you.
Because we like to do that kind of stuff. I'm gonna sound like a villain when I say this, but
let's find out.
I love scarcity.
Yeah.
In the sense that I love doing the seasonal menus, and I like whenever the seasonal menu's done, it's like, sorry, see you next year. Mm-hmm. It's Brojito, which is funny coming from the conversation of
like you're attacking me. Yeah.
I'm attacking you and Mikey.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
So I love scarcity, and I find it fun to have a rotating menu and limited things.
Why do you love scarcity? Before we get to the T-shirt.
I think the people who do get the thing feel special. Mm-hmm. And
what's an example in Valor?
I mean, again, like the menu stuff is one. So people can get tan lines while it's there, and they love it so much, and it has like a following. Mm-hmm. But then it's gone, and then the rest of the year they're spent getting excited for tan lines to come back out.
Right.
It's the excitement that builds up, the payoff, and then the enjoyment of it while it's there, and then it's gone again.
Yeah.
There's something to that.
Yeah, I agree. The temptation, obviously, like this year, tan lines was fire. Mm-hmm. And if any of our listeners don't know, tan lines is our summer seasonal blend. And this year we did a blend of, it was Kenya, right? Kenya Nairi Hill Estate, which we get every year. It's washed, very bright, very juicy, very amazing. And then it was Ethiopia Workasakaro Anaerobic Natural. It was like a 60-40 blend, I think.
It was giving.
It just ended up like straight giving. And I was like, dude, Big T, people love this so much. We should offer it year round. And
what did he say?
He was like, Ross, you're an idiot. Scarcity. And I was like, yeah, you're right. For sure. It didn't go like that. But
That's how you felt? That's how I made you feel?
No. Just as an example.
Yeah, sure. And that's not to say we can't do other things on our menu that kind of scratch that same itch.
Yeah.
I think that we always try to do that, with our seasonal menus. Maybe not always try to do it, but to some extent, like last year we had the Tokyo Drift, and then after the Tokyo Drift we had another Cortado-sized drink that was the same vibe but different.
Keep that captive audience as much as you can while still maintaining the special scarcity kind of thing for the seasonal stuff.
It's funny, I gave someone who doesn't live around here the Sprojito recipe for them to do at home. So maybe that's what we need to do. We need to, like we had the stickers, the Sprojito stickers. We should have that's a campaign. Talking about campaigns. We do a campaign to sell more cold brew concentrate by dishing out that Sprojito recipe for people to make themselves at home.
I like that.
So
Business.
Dude, your lats are showing.
We have this we have this fella that comes into the cafe whenever he's in town.
John Mayer.
No, but he's a celebrity. He's on some select good shows. I don't know if I'm going to snipe him for messaging us asking for the Sprojito. But we'll just say he's verified on Instagram.
Dang, dude.
And he asked us for the Sprojito recipe, and I gave it to him. And so now he can make it while he's back home in New Mexico. So,
Right, you just gave it away.
Now we all know who it is.
yeah, totally.
It's Jason Momoa.
Yeah, totally.
Gross.
Ew.
So sorry.
What's our time?
Can I talk about the shirt one way or another?
Oh, sorry, I went to the bathroom. I thought you had already talked about the shirt.
No. Is that okay?
Yeah, dude, I teed you up. Go for it.
So this shirt, so people come in and they say, what's the Wi-Fi password? And we say, Valor Pit Crew. Pit Crew like NASCAR. And so, why Pit Crew, boys?
I think it just came from us having a negative baggage attachment to the word barista when we were starting.
Why?
I mean, we don't have to go into that much, but
Why?
the barista, there's just a certain stereotype of what a barista is that we wanted to avoid.
Why?
And so we were thinking of other names, maybe like a higher identity, a higher calling. Because the reality is too that like if you work at Valor, because of how our team is set up, because of how our bar is set up, you're not just a barista. Like,
For real.
especially if you're working on a Saturday, like you're taking orders, you're doing dishes. There's 2 different support roles, and even if you are making drinks, you're probably only making half of the drink and sending it down the line. So if we called all those people baristas, like imagine like when we bring someone on with no experience and like they're not even touching the espresso machine. Like, I mean, they're learning how to pull shots early on. That's true. But like calling them a barista wouldn't necessarily be accurate.
It wouldn't be giving.
It wouldn't be giving anything. And so having a more accurate, funnier, but also sports themed named, because we love sports, Pit Crew.
Why?
Great question.
Wow, such a good question.
Because
Because
I said so. That's great. Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, and the Pit Crew specifically, like if you watch a Pit Crew service a NASCAR, do you call cars
a NASCAR.
that race NASCARs?
No.
Well, if you
Stock
see them,
car.
if you see them
What?
service a NASCAR,
NASCAR is stock car racing.
I heard it both ways.
Why?
Anyways, every single person on that Pit Crew is doing such a specific, seemingly small, but incredibly important job. And so the analogy is the star of the show runs through what's the lane called?
Pit road.
Pit Road. They run through Pit Road. And the star of the show in our analogy is the guest.
Wow.
The guest is walking into the cafe. The Pit Crew races towards them incredibly fast. Tunes them up.
That's good. I knew you'd have a sound effect.
Tunes them up. Fills them up with, good energy.
Yeah, man.
And coffee and, the caffeine. There's a little bit of that kind of uplifting nature to our product. And fills them up with confidence, laughter, and just sends them out to go win, right? To go be better off than they were before they came in. And so, yeah, I think about like when we have this picture in our orientation of a Pit Crew at work servicing what car? Jeff Gordon?
Whose car
Elliott.
is this?
I think it was Chase Elliott.
This car?
No, like on our orientation on one of the
Oh,
slides.
it's definitely not Chase.
it was
I think
Dale.
I was about to say it was Dale Jr.
Dale Jr. There's like a guy who hands the tire to the guy who puts the tire on the car. Like that, but that dude's job is so important. So it's speaking that we value every single aspect of the job at Valor, even if it seems menial, because it allows our guests to win and have a great experience.
To tag onto that, maybe I'll give you a little something extra to say in orientation.
Oh, I'm listening.
Sometimes the tire will get mishandled and will like go out into pit road, and other cars will have to like dodge it and stuff.
Oh, strategy.
And yes, yeah, it's like Mario Kart.
That's
that team will get penalized for what happened, and it wasn't even the driver who did the thing.
Sure.
It was his team, but he has to he gets spots knocked off, or may have to go to the back because of what happened.
So it is a team sport after all.
So
NASCAR.
An example of that is if we take too long and we make someone wait for their drink, they could go and be late at their job and get fired.
Yeah,
And then
True.
Then it's on us.
They probably shouldn't have been getting coffee
if they were that tight. Anyways,
if they were that far down the demerit
yeah, it was just
system.
like get a drip next time. Seriously,
Yeah.
we never run out of drip.
Right. Our line is never long.
So the front, we're called the pit crew. People say, "What's the Wi-Fi password?" We say Valor pit crew like NASCAR,
Sure.
and that's why the phrase on the front says pit crew like NASCAR. NASCAR might get us for having that on the front of the shirt. We'll see. We didn't make that many of them. We'll be good.
It's just supporting NASCAR.
It'll be a
Yeah,
fun
there we
journey
go.
either way.
There we go. And then the back is where the magic happens.
Woo-wee.
So you have, it's just got a little bit of everything.
It does.
You guys want to point out any favorites?
Details matter, baby.
Ariel drew this up. Big props to her.
Mine is the one that is the homage to me because I love myself and I love visibility and platform and influence.
You got into the right industry, man. Coffee.
There was a stage where I only wore on-cloud shoes because I was given 13 free pairs. And
Flex.
thank you. And
That's an on-cloud flex.
and Ariel drew on clouds in that little box and then put 6'8" because I'm 6'8" with shoes on. That's
Amazing.
that's my favorite.
Ethan.
Choose wisely.
Mine would probably be. I mean, it's got to be the shout out to Roy.
That's funny.
That's just
That's
funny.
one of the sponsors.
That's good.
For anyone that doesn't know, Roy is a regular at the cafe, but he's also
a friend
one
of
of
the
our
program.
business daddies that's helped us out a lot over the years.
If you're looking for a business daddy, go to businessdaddies.com.
Is there a shout out to you on here?
There is a piece of pizza,
That's for you.
and that one is for me.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Mine is TRW inside of a house, seemingly for real estate.
She's good. And then
It's so funny.
apparently the back wheel or back rear tire
Sponsor.
logo is like the most prestigious placement. Is that right?
It's up there for sure.
And so that has the name of this program, Coffee Sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Where-
Sorry for the pixelated image we have here.
Gosh, sorry guys. Smash like if you agree.
Yeah, just make sure to smash like.
Smash like and comment below your favorite pixel number.
One of the coolest features of the shirt is you can wear it this way and you can wear it backwards.
I guess you could. Yeah, it might feel weird on your body.
It's reversible.
You guys ever put on a shirt backwards and you're just like, this is wrong.
Yeah, but this is the Gildan, so
It really makes you appreciate how specific clothes are tailored because it's like it's supposed to go one way. Like this sits higher, this sits lower, the shoulders fit different. It's impressive.
Yeah, man.
It's not just
Go a few minutes on that.
Yeah, smash a like if you want to hear it.
clothing industry.
Well, you can go further on it, but it'll be behind our subscriber paywall.
If you're interested in how I'm interested in the clothing production, find us on Instagram subs.
Yes.
Insta subs.
Going way back to the scarcity thing, this shirt is only available at 44 Milton Avenue because it's the 44 Milton Avenue shirt.
And they're selling fast.
Yeah, like, do we even have any left
I mean, you got to go today to find out. Oops. Well, today would be.
tomorrow?
You got to go on Wednesday to figure out.
And we
Yeah.
definitely have one of each size left.
Always.
But we really didn't order that many. I seriously need to go and get one because I want it. Does it smell like tortillas for some reason?
Yes.
But that's
Is
kind
that
of
awesome?
That's kind of a pro to getting the shirt.
Yeah.
Do you love tortillas? Yes.
I went and got
I do.
myself a 2X already, so I've already bagged one.
2X. Nice.
Yeah, I'm a 2X now.
Stack it, bro. I saw Dale throw on a large and it looked great. Oh, Dale looked amazing.
Dale's going to love this episode.
He is.
Dale told us last week that he only listens to the part of the podcast where we are gabbing back and forth before we get to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
As soon as he hears meat and potatoes, he's out.
Talk
Hey,
about values
Does
or
that,
other.
still count as a listen for us?
That does. Yeah. We're good in that ballpark.
I'll take it.
Data. Dude, I'm a data junkie.
In case you don't know, Dale is one of our best friends and our former roaster. He's one of Ethan's best friends. Sorry.
My personal best friend. Yes. Love you, Dale. And this was, have you did a shout out portion? I feel like it was a very grassroots, peer led decision. To make
Oh.
this
Yeah,
t-shirt.
what was the genesis of this item?
I'm sure there was some Dale influence.
Definitely.
I mean, for like, namely NASCAR and how the shirt is black.
Yeah,
Those are like two Dale things.
no doubt.
Obviously, Ariel did all the heavy lifting on it. Mm-hmm. I think Elijah wanted a shout out. He claims all of our good ideas. So
Okay.
If you want a shout out, you don't get one.
Elijah texted me midweek last week thanking me for saying that he makes a hell of a cortado.
That's
and said that
funny.
he really needed it. So
Elijah sends me a song I should listen to once a week, and I love it, and I always do, and I always enjoy the song.
he's been listening to music a lot at his new job. Anyways, boring. Sorry, Elijah. The Elijah segment.
what do you
is
think
over.
Elijah is doing right now?
I know exactly what he's doing right now.
I do too. Well, I guess we can say it. The podcast will be out tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's on his way down here.
He's already down here.
He is?
He got in yesterday. I picked him
is
up
he
at
a
the MART station.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
He flew?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Dude, his flight from Georgia to Cincinnati, like back home, $35.
Oh my God.
Jeez, got to get up to cents.
Yeah.
Go see the Bengals.
Nasty natty.
Does Lillaby know he's in town?
No. No, he does not.
That's even better.
She does not.
Should we say why he's in town?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
What's-
It'll be out tomorrow unless I accidentally post it today.
Well,
and Lillaby instantly listens to it.
If
Like she always does.
Lil B says no, that would be a problem. That would be awkward.
That would be awkward. If she says no, I just won't post this podcast.
There you go. So you're definitely going to post it.
Yeah.
So this is an if you know already, but one of our guys in the warehouse who just started, Zion, friend of the program, and also creator of our intro track.
Oh yeah. He whipped that thing up.
Who knows it off the top of their head?
Me.
Go ahead.
You just did the end. But
Oh, coffee sometime.
Welcome to Coffee Sometime.
Yeah.
Let's run it back.
Reset.
Anyways,
He is proposing to our esteemed colleague, Lillaby, Virginia Cochran, tonight. Tune in.
They're getting Ginia? What?
What did I say?
No, just kidding. You said Virginia, and I thought you just said Ginia.
did you see that message Mikey sent saying that she accidentally threw away the Geneva receipt and it kind of looked like Geneva, like the Geneva Convention?
Dude, we should make it out to the Geneva Convention this
Connection.
year. The French Connection this year.
That was the wrong pronunciation.
Let's talk movies. Let's get out of here. I'm bored.
Yeah, we gotta wrap
I'm
this one.
sorry, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Love
Thank
you.
Love you.
Love you.